Mikey Garcia, Sean Porter. Basically, all them fights, I didn't see Sean Porter. Yeah, it's probably like Lamar Peterson, on top of everything, trying to prepare my body to get into training camp mode and just, and everything's in the core too, man. When you throw punches, when you block punches, your lower back and your core is the most important thing, besides your legs. And, when me and Blue, we hit our core hard and my lower body hard. And it just, gets me into, I'm always in tip-top shape, but it gets me into, that physical shape where I'm strong. As you can see, with the Chris Algieri and Lamar Peterson fight, the Kell Brook fight, as the rounds keep going, I get stronger and stronger instead of dropping. So, I just feel like, he takes me to, and a lot of stuff that we do, I don't do on my own. Like, sometimes I think I can work out on my own, but I'm working out on my own pace. He's pushing me and I'm working out. He work out at a different pace, because that dude can do like 1,000 push-ups in 30 minutes and, 700 pull-ups, crazy stuff. So, when he pushed me to that pace, it's not giving me time to rest, not giving me time to chill, and just, straight through it every time, and I'm just forcing myself to work harder. So I feel like, he pushes me to the next level.
Hey, yo, what up, Fight World? Your boy Boxing Fanatic. I'm back with another one. Errol Spence is now taking the rematch at 147 since Terrence Crawford doesn't want to rematch him at 154. Seem like they still trying to keep him dehydrated. Errol Spence has now changed trainers, and it was talks of him bringing in Gervonta Tank Davis, Coach Calvin, or Floyd Money Mayweather.
Hey, yo, what up, you guys? It's your boy Boxing Fanatic, back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe for the latest and greatest content.
So, looks like Errol Spence is taking his rematch. And Terrence Crawford, Steve so-called Nelson, advisor, Terrence Crawford and his team in this camp was basically, they came out and said that they wasn't going to fight Errol Spence at 154. But you can clearly hear Terrence Crawford after the fight says that, he wouldn't mind fighting Errol Spence at 154 because he struggled with making 147. But Terrence Crawford and his team knows that Errol Spence, he struggled with making 147. Prior to 3 or 4 weeks out before the fight that took place, Errol Spence was at 170 pounds. He on record saying this out of his own mouth. So, but you can clearly see that Errol Spence was not there. He didn't have no legs during the fight, not taking away from what Terrence Crawford capitalized on and made the fight seem one-sided, so easy. But it's to the point to now, Errol Spence has brought in and changed up a lot of things just so he can, give Terrence Crawford his first L. Now, we're going to talk about a lot in this video. Terrence Crawford wasn't even trying to oblige the man at 154 pounds. And Errol Spence had, went out of his way just to compensate, just to make the fight happen for Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford got the biggest payday of his career. Errol Spence gave him any and everything he wanted. Errol Spence clearly saying, they had to do a coin toss to see who walk out first, and this, that, and the third. Like, it was just a lot of stipulations that Terrence Crawford was doing to make it seem, everything he wanted, and not just, it could have been like a 50-50 split or what have you, and which he got, but thanks to Errol Spence. So that Errol Spence was basically saying that he wanted, he activated the rematch clause. They had 30 days to reactivate the rematch clause, and Errol Spence did that. But Terrence Crawford, his team, came out and said that it would be at 147 or 148, not at 154. And Errol Spence had came out just a few days ago and registered at, saying that he was a 154 pounder. But Errol Spence had been saying this way before the fight, that he's growing out of the weight. He's been at this weight class for a long time, and Errol Spence ain't no little guy. And Mayweather was saying that Errol Spence, if he was his trainer, he would have him fighting at least 160 or 168 because, he's that big and he can do well at that weight class. Terrence Crawford did some remarkable things in that fight and had Errol Spence all over the place, falling here, falling there, and that can test to, his balance, him not having no legs, him not having the strength, him not having the power, him not having, just the conditioning to, go through so many rounds like that, not having your legs up under you. And that due to, Errol Spence, I don't think he trained properly right for that fight. I don't think Derek James and him really sat down and really dissect, Terrence Crawford in a whole, like Terrence Crawford and his team dissected Errol Spence in a whole. They took away his best attribute, his best thing, and that was his jab. Everything is set off the jab with Errol Spence. And Terrence Crawford took away that, and he seen that he was a lot faster, a lot quicker than Errol Spence, in which he was beating him to the punch, beating him to basically, he was countering Errol Spence. Errol Spence just had no answer for everything that Terrence Crawford was doing, and it showed in the fight that, Errol Spence couldn't adapt like Terrence Crawford. He adapted to everything that Errol Spence was doing from, I want to say, the first round, but they gave Errol Spence the first round, and then every round after that until the fight got stopped was all Terrence Jerron Boots Ennis. But he's saying he don't want to rematch Errol Spence at 154 pounds. It's either Errol Spence take it, leave it or not. It's going to be at 147 and 148. Errol Spence said he was going to take the fight at 147. He just going to take it. Being that the type of guy that he is, he got something to prove. He got a chip on his shoulder, and he ain't trying to let Terrence Crawford eat it again. So Terrence Crawford is trying to do something great. He want to challenge the winner out of those two. But why wouldn't you want to do the same at 154 pounds, get comfortable at that weight, and fight Errol Spence, but you want to go up to 3 different weight classes? Is there something you telling us? I understand you don't feel like Errol Spence can do what you won't think he can do in the second fight, but you can't count your eggs before they hatch. You'll rematch him at 147, but you'll go up to 168 pounds to fight the winner out of those two, but not do the same favor that Errol Spence basically gave you at 147 pounds. You say you'll rematch him at 147 or 148, but not 54. That ain't making no sense to me. Like, how real of a person, like, that's just bad business. That's just bad business. Like, that man stood 10 toes down and gave you any and everything you wanted, but you can't do that little thing for him. But you want to go ahead and do that. You can't. You still got to fight the man, regardless of what weight class it is. You still got to fight the man. And if you don't fight him, you still got your mandatory. Jerron Boots Ennis, you can't run from that, but you want to go up and fight the one out of those two. I don't know, that those two are 2 different monsters, I think, in my honest opinion. And say this. Say if Jermell Charlo beat Canelo Alvarez, right? That means you still got to wait because Canelo Alvarez going to activate that rematch so he can fight Jermell Charlo again. So that's going to be a whole nother year that you're going to be sitting around, waiting around just to get a fight with those two. And say if Canelo Alvarez beat Jermell Charlo, it ain't no guarantee that Canelo Alvarez is going to fight you. So, but you still gotta fight Errol Spence before you fight Canelo Alvarez. And so that whole thing is just don't sit well with me. Like, you gotta make it make sense. If you gonna keep it 100 and you know what I'm saying, and that's how you rocking, you just showing your hand. If I was Errol Spence, I would have never did it from the get-go, showing that now that you saying this and saying that. But being that Errol Spence said he's going to rematch you at 147 pounds, so it is what it is at the end of the day. Anybody I think that that has some kind of leverage need to take keys on what's taking place right now. All of these different stipulations, so that when they do go into negotiations with you, they got to know how to handle you because you already showing your hand. That's just my take on it. Y'all let me know what y'all think, all right? Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. One love, one life. I'm out. Peace.
If you enjoy content like this and you want to see more, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.